These are the two POC helmets which I'm wearing all the time now because I really like them. They're very comfortable and I am pretty sure they do provide me with some extra protection. The protection that we are getting from these POC helmets is quite novel. It's unique as far as I can tell. You can see these gel pads here that are in the helmet here, and you can see they're soft and they allow a sliding movement. I'll show you with this. This is a gel layer, and it acts a little bit like the bursa, which allows tendons and ligaments to slide frictionlessly over bone, such as the tendons of the leg across the bones of the hip, as an example. And it's quite squishy. It's sort of just a squishy gel with a fabric layer, and it allows so if you imagine if I was to fall off, which hopefully I won't do, and land on my head, that will allow the helmet to slide a little bit, to twist or rotate on my skull, and dissipating those shock waves and torsional forces that would otherwise be transmitted to the brain, but also to the cervical spine, which is my main concern in mountain biking. Basically, relatively low speed crashes, which often involve sliding and the helmet catching and causing a real torsional force on the neck. Just another thing, I wear something like this. This is a skull cap from Ground Effect in Christchurch, and that helps to keep my helmet nice and clean. I have also this is another one from Ground Effect, actually. This is for my winter use. Now, yeah, not only does this keep the helmet clean, but it provides another layer which I think improves just that little bit of protection for the spine, just by providing another little layer to act as cushioning and sliding within the helmet. So that's my POC helmet. So I should also point out that they're incredibly light, and when you're hooning down hills and riding for very long periods of time, weight is a real factor for fatigue on the neck, and I've noticed a real improvement in my endurance, my comfort while doing very long rides. Well, one other point, this one here, this is my my safety color one, which I think is really quite good for using when on the road. It means that motorists are more likely to see me, and hopefully they will avoid me. The only thing about this one is that it doesn't have a peak. It's very light. It's the lightest one, but in wintertime, when the sun is really low, there is a real problem with sunstrike. So being winter here right now, this is the helmet which I'm wearing the most of, and it's got a quite stylish peak, which provides the shade, which means that I don't suffer from sunstrike anywhere near as much as I do when I'm using the orange helmet. And this one is a little bit heavier because of the peak, and it also has more enclosures. It doesn't have quite so much exposed areas which could catch on rocks and twigs as compared to this one, which I assume is more of a summer helmet when the sun is high and it is hot. But what you can see with this is that there's a lot more areas where if you were to hit the ground and slide, rocks and that could catch in this area and cause the helmet to come to a sudden halt. What we want ideally is for the helmet to slide and rather than to catch. So from a protection point of view, this POC helmet is my one of choice, simply because it's got fewer holes, vents in it. So from a safety point of view, when I'm doing high risk activities, I think I'll wear this one most of the time. I'll be taking both helmets to the Mountain Biking World Championships, but I think I will race in this one and do my high risk activities in that. This one I'll keep in reserve and use that less often, definitely. Anyway, I hope you found that interesting.